Do you want to avoid getting a bad deal, or even worse than that, the terror, the disappointment of a loan denial? That would totally suck. But lucky for you, I'm going to give you all the information that you need to avoid these pitfalls in today's video. The first thing we're going to cover about how to shop for a mortgage, and the main thing we're going to cover in today's video, is an important piece, and that's the pre-qualifying phase or pre-approval phase. It's very important, and I'm passionate because I feel like about 70% of people do this wrong. How do they do this wrong? Well, they start with a realtor or they start with a house, and that is not the way to go. You have to start with your mortgage first. You really have to start with your mortgage first, because you don't want to end up engaging a realtor if you can't even get approved. You don't want to end up in love with a house or have your family, friends, or kids in love with a house to find out that you were shopping in the wrong price range or the wrong area. If you get pre-approved first, you're going to avoid that situation. What's the first thing you want to do as part of this process before you ever get to the house and you ever get to the realtor? Well, I'm very glad you asked, and I'm going to tell you right now. Let's dive in. If you are enjoying today's video, don't forget to like. The first thing I want you to do is find the right lender. Find the match for you. Finding a lender that is right for you is very important. It is like finding the right partner for life. It is like finding the right therapist. You're going to have ups and downs together. You're going to have to be really comfortable with each other. You're going to have to be really transparent with each other. Well, how do you do that? You want to check out the rapport that you have with this person. If you're talking to 1, 2, or 3 people, make sure you feel comfortable asking them questions. Make sure you feel comfortable that they're giving you confident, accurate, and detailed answers. Make sure that it's someone that you feel like is going to put your case together. Someone that you feel like is going to have a strategy to get you to the best end result. You want it to be someone who has great experience, great reviews, someone who's actually going to do a true pre-approval. Please don't get half-ass approved. I'm going to teach you the difference. Don't do it to yourself, right? It's another thing you want to make sure is, am I getting a good approval? And a lot of that is going to have to do with going with your gut. I want you to shop more than a rate. I want you to shop for that great partner, like I mentioned, and have that lender that's going to have your back and strategize. That is the main first step. That's that first foot forward in how to shop for a loan, how to shop for a mortgage, and to have a really great home buying experience. When it comes to interviewing the lender, there's even more that goes into this. There's so many pieces and parts that I could talk for 30 minutes, and it's just a little bit too much, I'm sure. I actually have another video where I dive even deeper into this topic. You can check that out. I'm going to drop the link. That video is called What to Look For in a Lender. What's our next step? In addition to the loan officer, an important piece is the type of lender. You have a bank, a credit union, a mortgage broker, or a mortgage lender. They're all different. They all have pros, they all have cons. In my opinion, as long as those are on the same level playing field and can offer you the types of loans that you need, the loan officer is more important because they're your strategist, they're your attorney. It's like if you're hiring an attorney that is just fantastic, the best in their class, like it's the go-to person, you technically don't really care what firm they work for. You want that person, and I feel that same way about the loan officer. If you want more details about the difference between these types, I have another video I've already recorded and I go way deep and dive into that. I'm gonna drop the link to that below, and that is actually called What is a Mortgage Broker? So check that out. Documents for approval. It's another huge part of this process. What documents do you need for your approval? Well, it actually depends. It's going to depend on the loan type that you get. It's going to depend on how you're paid or what income do you receive? Do you receive Social Security, disability, pension? Are you retired? Are you a W-2 worker? Are you a 1099 worker? Are you a self-employed person? Are you self-employed with an LLC? Are you self-employed with an S Corp? Are you self-employed with a C Corp? It's like, oh my gosh, that's a mouthful. But all of those things can actually have an effect on what documents you need for your approval. There's actually 2 things I want to do to help you out. Number 1, I want to give you a link to a free checklist that I have put together that's going to give you really good ideas on what those documents might look like and what you might expect in the different situations. The second thing, I dive a little bit deeper or a lot deeper into this topic in another video. I'm going to drop a link, and that video is called Documents Required for a Mortgage Loan. Program options. As you know, or you may not know, there are lots of different programs, most of them being VA, conventional, FHA, or USDA RD, rural development is another way to say that. Those are the main four. That's going to be critical in figuring out what loan is right for you, to figure out, therefore, what house is right for you. That's a very important part of this process to make sure that you are set up for pure success. If you're liking the information and you're liking the free downloads and you're enjoying the content, please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Another piece that I want to talk about today are the 4 C's of mortgage. And what that is that's credit, capacity, collateral, and compensating factors. And those are going to be crucial. Once you've chosen your loan officer, once you've chosen the loan company, once you've determined the loan type that's going to best fit your needs, the next thing is you've got to get the actual pre-approval, go through the pre-approval, pre-qualification process. You want to meet these 3 things and have 4 legs like a stool that are very, very sturdy. We talk about credit. That has to do with how your credit history is, how your repayment history is. It tells us how likely you are to repay. You're talking about collateral. That's the property you're purchasing. What's the condition of the home? What's the value of the home? What's the likely of the positive resale value of the home? You're looking at capacity. Do you have the capacity to repay the mortgage that you're applying for? And are you likely to repay? Because it's possible that you can do it. A quick example of that would be if you net $2,000 a month and you want a $1,500 mortgage payment, you don't have the capacity to repay that. Let's be real. So that's the capacity part. And the 4th leg to our sturdy stool today is going to be compensating factors. Let's say if you're weak in one of the other areas, but you have some compensating factors like maybe long time on the job, or maybe you have great credit even though your debt to income's a little bit high. Maybe you've had a mortgage already and you have perfect mortgage history. That's going to help show that you're likely to have great mortgage history moving forward. Those 4 C's of mortgage are really going to make a difference on you having a nice, solid pre-approval. There are different types of approvals. Let's get clear on that. The different types of approvals are a pre-approval. Now, a pre-approval is not a pre-qual. I don't like pre-quals. I think they're a waste of time. What does a pre-qual look like? Hey, Mr. Lender, I don't want you to pull my credit, but I want to kind of get an idea of what I can afford. And my bills are $500 a month, and my income is $4,000 a month, and my credit is average, and how much house can I afford? That is so stupid and annoying and a waste of time. Why? Why is it a waste of time and annoying to you? Because what's the end result you want? You want true answers, you want accurate answers, you want a pre-approval, right? Well, guess what? You don't know what you don't know. And you might have just said that your debt is $500 a month. Well, what debt? How'd you get the number? What percentage? What loan type are you doing? Get a pre-approval. Let the lender pull your credit. Let them see what the debt is. Let them calculate the payments they have to calculate into your debt to income. Let them look at the credit, the capacity. The collateral can come later because you haven't found a house yet at this point, right? Let them look at the compensating factors and tell you, this is how much house you can buy. That's the right way. The next part or the next type of approval then is your initial underwriting approval, where the underwriter comes in after the loan officer and after the processor and says, okay, yes, I agree they make $3,000 a month if that's the situation. Yes, I agree they have $500 a month in minimum monthly payments. Yes, I agree they have the capacity to repay, and here's the paperwork that I need to prove that. And there are other things they standardly ask for. That's your underwriting approval. Now, once you gather all those things together, your loan officer gathers them, your real estate agent gathers them, then you're submitted for final loan approval. And final loan approval is when you know you're done, you are ready to go to closing, you're done and you're ready to go to closing. So pre-approval, underwriting approval, and final approval. Those are the important ones. And the big bad word is pre-qual. We don't want that. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed yet, why not? Go ahead and do it. What's it gonna hurt? Seriously though, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the bell to be notified. Please do share these videos and the channel with your friends and family to help me spread my mission of mortgage peace. And since you're here with me today and you're visiting anyway, stay a little longer. Check out some of these other videos. I'll drop some links up here.